Imagine a group of enslaved warriors, ripped from their homelands and trained to be the ultimate soldiers. Bound to their masters by chains and loyalty, these men rose against all odds to seize power, build an empire, and defend their faith against invaders. This is the story of the Mamluks, slaves who became sultans, defenders, and legends. How did they rise to greatness, and what ultimately led to their downfall? Stay tuned as we journey into the extraordinary history of the Mamluk Empire.
In the sands of history lies a tale unlike any other, a story of men born in bondage who would rise to wield the power of an empire. These were the Mamluks, warriors who built one of the most powerful dynasties of the Islamic world, defending it against some of its fiercest adversaries. How did these former slaves become sultans, and what ultimately led to their downfall? Join us as we explore the remarkable rise and fall of the Mamluk Empire. Our story begins in the 9th century with the Abbasid Caliphate. To protect the vast Islamic empire, rulers sought a force that would be loyal only to them. They turned to the Mamluks, young slaves imported from the steppes of Central Asia and the Caucasus. These young boys were trained in combat, isolated from society, and taught unwavering loyalty to their masters. But over time, the Mamluks would come to seek power for themselves. The word Mamluk means owned in Arabic, but they were anything but powerless. These warriors were elite with skills in horsemanship, archery, and hand-to-hand combat. Soon, they began forming a brotherhood, uniting under the common bond of their unique status and military prowess. By the 13th century, the Mamluks had risen to prominence in Egypt, seizing control of the region's armies. They soon faced a grave threat: the Mongol Empire. Led by Genghis Khan's descendants, the Mongols swept across Asia, leaving a path of destruction. Cities crumbled, and no one dared oppose them, until the Mamluks. In 1260, under the leadership of Sultan Qutuz and his trusted general Baybars, the Mamluks confronted the Mongols at the Battle of Ain Jalut in Palestine. Against the odds, they emerged victorious, marking the first time the Mongols had been defeated in open battle. This battle cemented the Mamluks as defenders of the Islamic world. With their victory over the Mongols, the Mamluks solidified their rule and ushered in a golden age. Cairo became the heart of their empire, a city of wealth, learning, and faith. The Mamluk sultans constructed grand mosques, fortresses, and schools. Under rulers like Baybars and later Sultan al-Nasir Muhammad, the Mamluk Sultanate flourished as a center of culture, commerce, and military strength. Through trade, Cairo became one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Mamluk architecture was breathtaking, blending Islamic design with intricate mosaics and towering minarets. The Mamluks had not only defended Islam, but also cultivated a society that would leave a lasting legacy. Yet, like many great empires, the Mamluk Sultanate was not immune to internal strife. Rival factions within the Mamluk ranks led to instability, with different groups vying for power. Corruption seeped into the government, and sultans were often deposed by their own soldiers. The once unbreakable unity of the Mamluks began to fracture. As internal discord weakened their state, external pressures grew. The rise of new trade routes, especially European maritime routes, began to bypass Cairo, diminishing the Sultanate's wealth. The empire's golden age had started to fade.
In the early 16th century, a new power was on the rise: the Ottoman Empire. Led by Sultan Selim I, the Ottomans expanded across the Middle East, eventually setting their sights on Egypt. The Mamluks, weakened by decades of internal strife and economic decline, were no match for the organized Ottoman military. The final blow came in 1517, when Sultan Selim I's forces defeated the Mamluks at the Battle of Radania. With Cairo captured, the Mamluk Sultanate fell, ending a dynasty that had ruled for nearly 3 centuries. The Ottomans would absorb Egypt into their empire, marking the end of the Mamluk era. Though the Mamluks fell, their legacy endures. They left behind grand mosques, schools, and a tradition of bravery and resilience. The Mamluks transformed from slaves to sultans, building an empire that defended the Islamic world during its darkest hours. Their story reminds us that even those born into the lowest rungs of society can rise to shape history. Today, the story of the Mamluks inspires and resonates, a powerful example of courage, unity, and the determination to forge one's destiny. From defending against the Mongols to leading a golden age of prosperity, the Mamluks remain a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of the Mamluks, consider subscribing for more stories from the past. Let us know in the comments what other legendary figures and empires you'd like us to explore.